Mexico boasts delicious food, vibrant culture, tons of history, and some of the best beaches in the world. If you're looking for a new place to go to, Mexico should be on your bucket list. But before you plan that trip to Mexico, here are things to know before visiting Mexico. Number 1. Don't stress about safety. Roughly 40 million of people visit Mexico every year, and violence against tourists are rare. The main crime travelers you will encounter are petty thieves. Be aware of your belongings at all times, particularly in crowded places. Mexico is very safe in general, with very welcoming people. Number 2, learn some basic Spanish. Learning the basic Spanish language will help you mingle with locals and make friends. Number 3, avoid the high season in Mexico. Depending on the time of your visit to Mexico, prices on hotels can fluctuate greatly. If possible, plan your trip to Mexico from November through early December and from late April through late May to get good deals. Another thing to know, check the weather. It is not always sunny in Mexico. However, much like in any place, the weather can change from day to day. In general, the best time to visit Mexico is between December and April. But why the month of May experienced some chilly nights in Mexico City, as it corresponds to the peak winter in the northern hemisphere. Bring your jackets. Another thing to know, indulge on the unique Mexican food. Forget any diets when visiting Mexico because Mexican food is very delicious. Not always the healthiest, but you've got time to recover after the trip. Another thing to know, get travel insurance. Before you go to Mexico, you might want to get insurance for yourself and your family if you're traveling with them. Next thing to know, don't drink tap water. It's generally a good idea to avoid tap water in Mexico. Drink bottled water only. Always have a bottle of purified water or natural spring water with you. Next tip, know the Mexican bathrooms. The first thing to know is that the door with a capital M is for women. M stands for women, mujeres, while the letter C stands for men, gentlemen, caballeros. Also, don't throw any paper in a toilet because the drainage systems in parts of Mexico are very old and could quickly break down if they become clogged. Another thing to know, watch out for scams. You should never let your guards down when traveling to Mexico, especially in tourist zones. Next thing to know, pay in pesos, not dollars. It's always advisable to exchange your currency for Mexican pesos. Another thing to know, confirm taxi rates in advance. If you get a taxi, make sure you agree on the fare before getting in, and it's always better to pay in pesos. Next thing to know, avoid ATMs on paydays. Most people in Mexico are paid twice a month, on the 15th and on the 30th, which means lines can be really long at ATMs on these days, especially during afternoons when everyone gets off work. Next thing to know, consider guided tours. Tours can be very expensive and you don't have the same freedom as you do when you rent a car. But some places in Mexico are great for taking a guided tour to learn the history and culture of the region. Next thing to know, be extra polite. Mexicans are very formal. Always ask, "How are you?" before asking anything else. Just keep it in mind and go with the flow. Another thing to know, take buses to save money. You can travel around Mexico by bus very inexpensively, and there are several bus companies that serve different parts of the country. Adult buses are very clean, modern, and very affordable of all things. Next thing to know, leave a tip. In Mexico, like in the US, tipping is the norm, and although not mandatory, it's kindly required. Some restaurants include it in the bill, but it's just a suggestion. You can decide what to tip. Next thing to know, don't forget to visit the beaches. Mexico has a multitude of beautiful beach destinations. In Mexico, there are no shortages of surf and sand. The beaches in Mexico are among the best in the world and provide a little something for everything. All in all, Mexico is a fantastic vacation destination. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your trip to Mexico. For more travel tips, make sure to hit the subscribe and ring the notification bell. Until next time, travel safe.